this is Sandra here, and it's sort of another chatty video. As you can see, we're on my bed, I'm in a cozy jumper, which quickly, let me point out, it says Wicked on it because we went to see the musical and oh my god, it was amazing. I've never seen Wicked before and clearly I loved it, and this jumper is so comfortable. And you know, it's autumn or fall, whatever you want to call it. Cold weather is approaching, I have a tea on the side and I just want to be cozy. But I thought today I'm gonna film a products I hit pen on video, but I didn't include any products that I have or had in project pens in the past. It's more just the products that I sort of organically hit pen on as I was going along, you know, doing my makeup day to day, and products that I truly enjoyed, because I like videos when people show pens in their products, but I like them even more when they hit pen on them because they used it rather than being in a project. And it's not because, let's say, I don't enjoy the products that I have in my project pens. I do, but at the same time it's more of a, how to say, it's more of a necessity or a must to hit pen on those, because that's the whole point of putting them in a project. Whereas with these ones, you know, I just really truly love them, and that's why we ended up hitting the bottom of that, you know, particular product. So that's the idea behind it. It's just products I organically hit pen on as I was using them, and let's get started. So I would say first let's get the bit more boring bits out of the way, and it's two lip balms. One is from the Body Shop. As you can see, there's quite a sizable dip in the bottom of it, and I'm not sure, I feel like these are overly hydrating. I had a few of these in the past, and I also currently have another one which I think is in a strawberry flavor, which is a bit more pink. But I enjoy having them on my lips. They give a bit of a fruity flavor. They give instant relief if you have really dry lips, although I'm not sure how hydrating I feel these are in the long run. But they taste good, they smell good, they're comfortable on the lips, and this one in particular doesn't really give off any color, just a bit of shine. But the pink one, the strawberry one, does add a little bit of a pinky hue as well, which I really like. It's quite nice over, let's say, a matte lipstick as well, if you just want to give it a bit more slip instead of a lip gloss. So I really like these for that reason. And the other one is the brand I can't pronounce, Nyx Paris? Oh, Paris, I guess. It's a French brand. It's the really fancy one that everyone talked about a few years ago on YouTube. And I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I hit pen on it. Clearly, there's barely anything left in there, but at the same time, I don't know. It feels quite thick, so I usually only use it in the night time. But also at the same time, I feel like it has like little tiny grains in there. Anyone else? Because I never heard anyone mentioning it in the past. But whenever I use it, I feel like I have tiny little grains on my lips, almost like it's combined with the lip scrub. Now, obviously not as strong, but it just still feels a bit, well, grainy. Just take a shot every time I say grainy in this past, you know, half a minute, and you will get drunk really quickly. I don't know. It's not a horrible product. Clearly, I used a lot of it, and I think usually it had a different lid. Mine was just like a special edition. When I bought it, it was quite a while ago. I'm gonna use it up because it's quite expensive for a lip balm. I don't exactly know how much it was, but I want to say it's around the 15-20 quid mark. So it's quite steep for what it is, and I don't understand the hype around this. I really don't. But you know, I already paid for it, so I'm gonna use it up, and it's not bad. It's just not what I wanted it to be, really. These were all the skincare bits I have, and the next ones are, before I get onto general makeup, I want to mention a few of like SFX makeup kind of things. I haven't really done any on my channel yet, but I'm planning to do a few looks on, well, not on, but around Halloween. But if you go on my Instagram, the makeup one is linked in the cards below. It's Sunny Makeup. I have quite a few looks where I've done a bit more of like a face painty or SFX-y kind of makeup. A staple for a few of those looks actually was the Ben Nye Nose and Scar Wax, and mine is almost completely gone. If you can see, there's barely anything left in there. It's just the smallest little bit, which I can still use. It's fine. I had mine for a long time, so it is time to get a new one. It's not my favorite medium to work with, to be honest. I find it a bit sticky, and it's just all a bit uncomfortable really, but for some looks I have to say it works great and you can't really top it. It's just quick and easy. Yeah, you just have to deal with stickiness. I would say on the street I would not go out in this one unless you get a sealer for it so it stays in place. But yeah, for the looks I wanted and just for like picture purposes it was perfect. And as you can see, it's almost gone, so I'll probably have to pick a new one soon. And I got mine in the shade Fair, but to be fair, it still is a bit darker than my skin half of the time, even though it doesn't look like it, but it's just not the same shade, so I still have to paint over it with a foundation, or you know, if my skin is a different color, then with that. But it's quite a nice product, and this was one of the first SFX items I think I ever bought, and for that reason I will always remember it fondly, even though it's not my favorite to work with. Another product that is more of like a body painting product is the Kryolan Supra Color in the shade Clown White. This product is quite known either like in the drag community or even just, you know, body painting wise. Body painting wise. As you can see, there's quite a bit of a dip in the middle and it's really well loved, although white always washes out a bit. It's a bit dirty as well, so it could probably use a little bit of a clean. But it's a product I really like. Now again, because it's a cream, you always have to set it, otherwise it can move around. And also it's a bit of a thicker feel on the skin, so you have to, you know, be aware of these sort of things if you use a cream paint. But in general I really like this and I will continue using it. It is a great staple in my collection. Another thing I hit pan on, I'm pretty sure it was last year Halloween season, and I'm pretty sure I bought this last year. So Makeup Revolution released an SFX palette, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit skeptical, and I think they also had a liquid latex. That one was okay for the price, but not my favorite when it comes to liquid latex. And I think they had some fake blood and a few things, which I think if you just want it for one Halloween, it's perfect. If you're someone who likes to play around with SFX makeup, I would just say invest, because you will be better off. But this palette was not too bad. It's the Spectra Sfx Palette. I'm pretty sure they only had one. Oh, it's hard to open though. There we go. And it comes in a really giant mirror, which when it comes to an SFX palette, I'm not sure it's something you're going to use on the run, but I guess it can be handy. And then 3, 6, 8 colors all together. And as you can see, I've just hit pan on the black one. I think it's quite easy to use just to slightly sketch things out or deepen them up. I would say it's not the most pigmented thing on the market, but it's okay for the price especially. I'm pretty sure this was only like the £5 mark. I don't remember exactly, but it was okay for the price. And if you're just if you're just looking for something quickly for just 1 year and a quick Halloween look, these can work perfectly. If you are someone who does it more for a hobby, or if you want to create more intricate looks, I don't think these sort of things will work. But for the price, again, it's okay, and I think for the average consumer it's more than enough. The last thing I have, which I feel like is sort of on the bridge between SFX and normal makeup, is this Illamasqua Liquid Metal, and I don't think it has a shade name, or if it does, I can't see it, but basically it's just gold. It does have pen on it. I'm not sure you can really see it. It's somewhere around there, and it's just an amazing product. You can see mine is really well loved. It's really disturbed. You only need the smallest amount of this to get the full effect. I love this stuff. It's so amazing. It's really pigmented. It feels light on the skin. Now, because it's really creamy and emollient, I would not necessarily use it on the eyes, not without setting it anyway, because it will move. But this product, oh, there's the pen. I'm not sure you could see it, but there is one. I love this. Now, if I wanted to, I could easily just smush it back on the bottom of the pen and, you know, not see any. I just never done that. I never really cared much about it. I love this product. I don't know if they still do these. I know that at one point they had a palette. I think they came out separately as a limited edition, because I went back once to see if I can pick up more colors, and I think they only had it in a palette. It was like a 4-pen palette, and I think it had the silver and like a bronze and this one, and I don't know what was the fourth. So I don't know if they still have this, but I love this product. It's so good. I mean, mine is getting a bit old, but it's still, you know, it still works the same way as it did in the beginning, and I would love to own more colors of this. It just comes in so handy if you want, you know, some more creative look, and again, it's just so pigmented, and I love this. I think Il Mascara is really killing it when it comes to more artsy, out there colors and formulas, and this is one of those products. And we finally arrived to the mainstream makeup world. I'm not sure why I was singing. I'm sorry you had to hear that. The first product I'm going to talk about is the Inglot Amc Eyeliner Gel in the shade 76. Now let me tell you, Inglot, if you could come out with names, I would love it. But whatever. This is just the white gel liner. And can we look at that? How used and abused is that? Now it looks really dried out. It's because it is. But if you have the Inglot drops, you can always just use it and mix it in and it will be perfect again. But can you see how used it is? It also needs a bit of a clean. But it is a well-loved product. I love it for just a white eyeliner by itself or any white design on the face, because once it sets, it sets. But I also love it for a white base of like colourful liners if I want to do an ombre eyeliner or something and I don't have the colour that I want to use, and I just put this down as a base and then put the colour on top of it and it works perfectly. I clearly love this, and you wouldn't think a white liner gets so much use, but clearly in my collection it does. I think this is the first ever liner that I got from Inglot as well, and the pots are huge, but I still managed to hit pan on it. I love Inglot AMC liners. They are so good. If you have an Inglot around you or if you go online, I'm pretty sure, I think it's a Polish brand, but I'm pretty sure they can ship all over Europe at least. And I know they have Inglot in the US. So if you're someone who loves makeup and colourful liners, I think this is definitely a good brand to go for. It's quite inexpensive, but has great quality, and I'm not sure what my hair is doing. Next up, I have a bronzer, and this is the Bare Minerals Invisible Bronze in the shade 10. Now, I still see the invisible bronzes on their website, but they have names like light, medium, and dark maybe, so I don't know if it's the same formula at all or not. But basically, it's a baked bronzer with a waffle pen on the bottom, and I really love this. So you can see, you know you love something when it's a domed product and you still reach the bottom of the pen. Now, I think this bronzer can be a little bit too dark for me sometimes, but I use it anyway because that's how much I love it. It is beautiful, it blends out amazingly. It's not the one I'm wearing today, it's the Charlotte Tilbury one, which at the moment looks a bit more orangey, but I think it's just my lights because I set it on the warm setting. I really like this product, and I would happily repurchase it. But again, I don't know if it's a different formula or not. If any of you know, please let me know. Otherwise, I will just always, you know, have to go to Bare Minerals and check it. But I really like this product. I think it definitely is worth the price. And if you're someone who loves bronzers, I can highly recommend checking these out if they still have them. Otherwise, it's a bit of a useless advice, isn't it? But it's a great product, and I will treasure it till I have it. Another base product that I had in my collection for a long time, and the packaging is so filthy. Oh, it's really reflective as well. Is the Urban Decay, what is this? Naked Skin Ultra Definition Powder Foundation in the shade Medium Light, which is a cool undertone, which is great because that's what I am. But it's a bit too dark for me. But it's a powder foundation. How fun. You can still see my face through the mesh. I'm such a child sometimes. And it's a great powder. It's so super soft. It's just a bit dark for me. I could easily use it as a bronzer. You can see that's it there. And I got it on a masterclass I did with Urban Decay. And this was in the goodie bag that they gave us. Their goodie bags usually are so generous. I remember when I went to a Van Gogh's, well, it was not like really a meet and greet, but he was there and you could meet with him. And it was a free event, and they gave out amazing goodie bags with like a full-size primer potion and like a travel size setting spray for a free event. I mean, I think, did you just get it with a purchase? I don't know. I usually purchase from Urban Decay anyway. They are one of those brands that have so many products that I love. And I really want to pick up one of these in my shade. This one I can sort of get away with in the summer. Otherwise I can always bronze with it, or yeah, I can't really rightly put it on because it's a powder foundation. It will have a color to it. So I can't even just lightly dust it on at the moment. It's just too dark. But it's such a buttery formula and it's so amazing. I never used it by itself as a foundation, so I'm not too sure how much coverage it gives. Let's just test it now. I'm not a big fan of just having powder on my skin. Okay, I would say it has like a decent medium coverage. Because I just have a little birthmark on my hand and I can barely see it now that I put it on there. Yeah, look, I have one there. Can you see it under it? Not really. Well, in the real life, just about. So I would say it's a good medium coverage. I usually just use it to set my foundation with it. I really, really like it and I really want to pick up one in my actual shade. It's so buttery soft, it's unreal. And I really, really love this. Urban Decay, there are not many things I don't like from them. Not many. I think I'm gonna get all my base products out first and then we can just move on to the exciting bit, which is eyeshadow. But another product that I only speak highly of, and you've seen it in many tutorials before if you watch some videos on my channel, is, and I always forget the name, always, it's the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro Palette. And mine is not only broken, but look at that. Clearly this is the only shade I hit pan on, but I'm pretty sure I'm close in some of these bronzer shades as well, especially in this one. You can sort of see the little rings on it and it's such a good palette. Now the highlighter shades are okay. I'm not blown away by them, but they're okay. But the two powders and the bronzers in there, well, they're not bronzers, but some of them are contours and the others on me just works as a bronzer. They are such good quality. I never actually tried the cream version of this. I'm not a big fan of cream contouring, if I'm honest. But this one, if you are a makeup lover, I think it's definitely worth the price. Now, I wish they came out with another one for darker complexions, because if you're anything darker than a medium, this will never work on you. And even if you're medium, I feel like the lightest shade, that one, you're not going to be able to use. That's the one that in the summer I use under my eyes, and even now sometimes, to be fair, but at the moment I can use it as well to just set my whole face. So I feel like, you know, color-wise, there is a lot for them to improve on, but you're lucky enough to fall in the color range that this palette can work on. I would highly recommend picking it up. Now, if you're a makeup lover, I would say it's worth it. If you're a makeup artist, it works great in your kit. I used this in my kit in the past many times. But if you're just someone who has a smallish makeup collection, I'm not sure you're gonna get enough use out of all of them. So in that case, maybe you can pass it. But if you're a makeup lover who does a lot of different looks and you like to experiment, I think this is definitely worth the price. Even though I think it's around £18, so I don't know. I feel like sometimes it can feel a bit steep, but if you think about how you get 8 products in there, I think it's a good price. And I can only recommend it, really. I think that's it. That was it. So now we can move on to the eyeshadows. And the first one I'm going to show you is from Naked 2 palette. I'm not sure if you know or not. I depotted mine because, one, I don't like it, even though that's my first big Naked palette. My first ever Naked palette was Naked Basics, which is currently my Graveyard project pen. I absolutely love this and I would recommend it to everyone. But this shade is Tease from the Naked 2 palette. And look at that. This is one of those cooler toned brown eyeshadows that looks perfect in the crease if you just want an effortless look. I mean, you know, it's just one of those shades that everyone needs, everyone loves, and I think everyone hits pen in most of the times. Pen in, pen on. That's all I can say about it. It's not that exciting. And then another shade is from a quad that I deposited from its original case, and it's the MAC Factor Smoky Eye Drama Kit in Luxe Lilacs. I'm not sure if they still do it. I haven't purchased drugstore for a long time now. But if you see, it's the brown shade that I hit pen on, and I used to have two. I'm pretty sure I had a blue one with like silver as well in it that I gave to my mum, and that had a slightly darker shade on the side. And that one I usually mixed with this one for my eyebrows, and I still think it's a great color for the brows, but it also works really nice on the eyes. And again, it's just one of those cooler toned, easy to use brown shades that looks perfect in the crease, and you can incorporate it in so many looks. And to be fair, Max Factor shadows were ones that I quite liked, and Max Factor as a brand I did like quite a bit, but unfortunately they're not cruelty free, so there's not much I can do about that. It's just a shame. Another product that I have here, now I'm not exactly sure what this was, and I'm pretty sure it was a collection eyebrow quad or eyebrow palette sort of thing, and it's the only color I have left. I don't think they had names. It's just a dark brown, and I use this shadow especially to use it on my eyebrows. It's the perfect shade for that, and at the moment I have a shade in my Alamasca palette, so that's what I'm concentrating on in my Pendant palette project pen. But it's a beautiful shade for that. It's a nice formula as well. I'm pretty sure it was a brow palette. It would not work as an eyeshadow, but for my brows it's such a good product. It's dark enough, it's cool toned enough, but not too cool that it will make my brows look too ashy, because it can happen. Sometimes they just look a bit too grey. It's just the perfect color, and I really like it for that. And all of those are just popped in a big Z palette. It looks a bit empty, but it's only because I have other Z palettes as well, and there's a system to the madness, even though you can't tell. And yeah, it's a great product for that. If you see that collection, it was in like a brown packaging. I don't know if they still do it. They might have repackaged it since. And as far as I know, collection is cruelty free, so I can only recommend that product if you can find it still. One of my oldest and only Morphe palettes, to be fair, and I'm really bummed that I can't get more because they're not cruelty free anymore. But it's the Morphe 35B palette. It's the one that's really colourful, and look at that. There's a pen in the yellow, there's a pen in the green, there's a pen in the blue. That white is almost completely gone. It is clearly one that has been well loved, used and abused. You can see on the other shade as well that there's a lot of wear and tear on this. It's just such an amazing palette. Whenever I need a color, I come for this palette, and I don't know, I feel like there are two kinds of people, one who bash Morphe and one who love it. But I never really use anything else from them apart from this palette, and based on this one, I truly love the brand and the quality. And I wanted to go to Stratford, and where they have like a standalone Morphe store. There are not that many of those in the UK, and have a shopping spree, but the news then came that Morphe is not cruelty free anymore, so unfortunately that's not gonna happen, and I feel so bummed out. I wanted to try, actually I have a few brushes from them, which were great as well, by the way. But I wanted to try their sponge and their setting spray, but that's not gonna happen now, and a few more palettes, and it's such a shame because this palette is so good. So it truly is a shame, but I'm just gonna, you know, keep using this palette until it goes bad and enjoy the colors while I have them, because there's so many of them and they are so fun. Ah, Morphe, why did you do that? Oh, why? Oh god, for a second I thought I dropped it. I'm like, no. I'm pretty sure this was one of the first huge palettes that I bought, and yes, I will always have special memories with this. I created so many looks with this. Again, Instagram down below, you will see it in quite a few looks, just because you can beat the colors for the price. Well, I mean, nowadays you can, but when I got it I felt like this is the top-notch palette, and still to this day I stand by the quality. Even years on, this still works great. Alright, we only have 3 more palettes left. This is the newer of, well, the newest of the 3. And you've seen this in tutorials before, and I think it was even in my favorites. Yes, it was. And it came, that video I filmed before the news came, I think, that this is not cruelty free. And I'm still bummed out. It's the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette. I I mean, look at that. I have 3 pens on it and it all happened organically because I love this palette so much. It's just such a pretty palette with so many amazing looks, and it reminds me a bit of like the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, even though I never owned it. That's still what it reminds me of, and it's just a good mixture of cool tones and warm tones. I have quite a big dip in this transition shade as well, and you can use it for your brows as well if you want. I could usually mix this one and the bottom transition shade, which is a bit cooler, and use it for my brows. It's just a pretty palette. I'm actually wearing this shade as well on my lid today in the crease, and I set my eyeshadow primer with this. That's what I mainly use this color for, and then those two in my crease. It's such a beautiful palette. It blends so well. Now before that I used to use from Wet n Wild the Walking on Eggshells palette, the old version, not the new one. And I really liked it, but I never used it enough, so I gave it to a friend who came over and she liked it, so I gave it to her. But this one is really nice, and it's such a shame they're not cruelty free because I truly love this palette, and once I use more shades up I would have repurchased it, but Wet n Wild ruined it for all of us, haven't they? This palette is from last holiday season and is the Becca Volcano Goddess palette. Again, huge mirror, which I always loved. But look at that colour scheme in there. Oh, so pretty. I have a few shades in there that I really like, but the 2 I hit pen on is this amazing transition shade once again, and obviously that shade there, which is called Cloud. Is it? Yes. I find it such a cute name. I'm a sucker for a cute name, I can't help it. There are a few shades in there I really love. These 2 shades were really well loved by me as well last holiday season. I love this shade as an eyeliner as well. I use it many times just like that. You can see there's quite a sizable dip in that one as well. And again, it's a well loved palette. I really enjoy the formula. They are just so buttery and creamy. These 3 shades can be a bit harder to work with, but all the other ones are just so easy to use, so beautiful. Now the matte shades in here I feel like are a bit more buttery than the other 2 palettes that Becca has. I love those as well though. I own both of the other ones that they have, and I would love it, something like this, to become permanent part of the range, but I don't think it's gonna happen, because Becca is not one for eyeshadows. But this palette was such a hit with me. I love this. It is amazing, and I'm just gonna treasure it forever and ever and ever. The last palette I'm pretty sure you've seen in videos before as well. It's the Huda Beauty Electric Obsessions palette. And 1, for a small palette, I love the mirror it has, but 2, can we talk about that? That yellow shade I think is the one that truly got me into loving yellow, and then the orange and that reddy burgundy darker color as well. I love. The greens are okay, the blue is quite pretty but it needs a bit of work. The pinks I like, just don't use enough, and the purple I don't think I use many times from here. But those 3 matte shades, oh beautiful they are. Truly beautiful. I got this palette from my friend for Christmas, and we can truly say this was a hit. I mean, you can tell. I love this palette. It's amazing. And I almost bought another palette from Huda Beauty the other day, but I was trying to be good, so I didn't at the end. I was walking around in Selfridges and they have so many palettes, and those neon ones are calling my name, but I was good. I'm really proud of myself. I went into Selfridges and haven't bought anything. I came so many times. I went in to look at the Natasha Denona palettes, and the one I wanted, 1 they didn't have, 2 I realized there's only 4 shades in there I don't have and love in that palette, but it's not worth spending 60 quid on it. And the other one I wanted, again, it was just a 4 or 5 pen one, 5 pen one, but it didn't have in stock either. But if you see this baby and you like colorful looks, I would say it's more than worth it. It's a lovely palette. I really like it, clearly. Clearly. And I can't recommend it enough. It's beautiful. Thank you, Michaela. It is truly a well-loved and treasured palette in my collection. And you know what? Would I repurchase this? I don't know. just because the shimmery shades are not my favorite. They're okay, but I feel like they're a bit more work than they should be. You can make them work easily, and when you swatch them, they look beautiful. It's just when I want to use them and I don't feel like they do the same on the eyes. Maybe I should give this palette a try soon again. But see, on the hand they are beautiful, so maybe I should do a tutorial with this. Let's see what I can do at the weekend. But yeah, I still love this palette. It should come out with an all matte, but like colourful palette. Now I would be straight in, I think. I think I would be straight in. But that's it for today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love to know in the comments below what are your staples or your well-loved products that you hit pan on, and not because it wasn't a project pan, but because you truly loved it so much that you just used it all the time. If you could let me know in the comments below, I would love to know. I'm always on the hunt for new products, even though I don't need more. And if you liked this video and my content in general, please check out some more videos. There's quite a few at this point on my channel now, which I'm really proud of. Please subscribe for more. It would truly mean the world to me, and thank you for everyone who subscribed so far. It makes me really, really happy, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. I'm gonna go now. Have a lovely day, and bye bye. Was the Ben Nye Nose and Scar Wax. This palette is from last holiday. Oh my god. Consider subscribing. It truly would rule. Jazz hands. I'm going crazy.